Hi guys, I want to talk about my Witcher 3 playthrough, the settings I am using, and some possible mod use. The three subjects I really want to focus on are texture sharpening, hairworks, and the minimap. Now, just know that I have already played part 2, I have recorded it, I have edited it, but I need to render and upload it, so any changes I make now will not go into play until part 3. So, let's deal with the first issue. So, issue number 1 is the texture sharpening. I have it set to the highest setting, and I have to admit I don't like it, and neither did a lot of you guys. The grass looks way too sharp. The trees, the close trees, again, way too sharp. Things like the building over there look great, and the bridge looked great, but the foliage, not so good. You may wonder, well then why on earth did you run it at that? Well, that was what it came set at when I selected Ultra, but also when I dropped sharpening to the low setting, I did notice a blurring on distant objects. It's not so bad on the trees, I don't really mind it too much, but for example the building over there is slightly smudged, hazy. I don't particularly like it. The same is true of the bridge to some extent. It's not a big deal, but it's a little smudged. However, the grass on the ground and the close-up trees now are a lot better. Of course, I could turn the sharpening off completely, but I think it's too blurred. Way too blurred, to be honest. I'm not sure why that would be the case, actually, but I think everything's a little too blurry now. So a happy medium would be this mid setting. Like I say though, I'm not happy with either setting. I'm not. I don't like the distant blur. Now I'm on low. Distant objects look worse, but close objects look better. However, on reflection, let's face it, we're going to spend much more time looking at close objects than distant objects, so this is the setting I'm going to use. That is also reinforced by the fact that the YouTube video does not look good with sharpening. I did notice that the compression for YouTube goes really bad when you've got the sharpening, or at least it seemed to. And it was even weirder because when you stand still, the YouTube codec gets a little better. Well, not stand still. If you press the escape menu and everything pauses, you'll probably see it right now. All of these objects will look a lot clearer. When I've got the high sharpening on, the contrast between still moments and movement is too great. And so just to make things more consistent, I'm going to lower the settings. I'm going to have the low settings for now. The second issue is hairworks. A few people have complained about Geralt's hair. They don't like Geralt's hair with hairworks. More than a few actually. They really didn't like it. I'm not that bothered by it, to be honest. But a lot of people think it falls a bit unnaturally. However, they like it on animals and horses. Unfortunately, the game doesn't actually have a setting for turning hairworks off for Geralt and turning it on for animals, for example. So I have to turn it off completely. Now, if I turn it off completely, I get a massive performance boost. And did I turn it off? Now, Geralt's hair looks pretty good without hairworks. It does. Geralt's hair actually looks, I would say, almost as good with or without hairworks. It is a little different, but a lot of people prefer the non-hairworks hair. However, monsters and the horse and things like that, well, they look great with hairworks. Now, there is a mod. There is actually a mod that allows you to have hairworks on for horses and animals and turn it off for Geralt, at least for the non-DLC hairdos. And I'd be willing to try that if people really do not like Geralt's hair. Now, I know some people are thinking, No one cares. And if you don't care, then don't worry about it. You don't have an opinion on it. I'm kind of ambivalent about it anyway. I like the hairworks on for the horse. Believe it or not, the horse, the animals, they look so good with hairworks on. With Geralt with hairworks on as he is now, honestly, I don't really care that much. Honestly, I'm neither here nor there. But if some people really hate the hair, I will think about using that mod. Oh, one other issue I just thought of while doing part 2. So this is going to be 2.5. Because I did say there were going to be 3. There is a new movement setting which apparently makes Geralt's movement faster. This is the default movement, and I'm trying to turn in circles, and it's quite slow. I've been told there is a new gameplay option which is movement response alternative. And with that set, I should be... Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'm chasing my tail. Chasing my tail. Now, the reason you do this is more for combat than anything. It just means he's so much more responsive. That's all it is, I think. Okay, no, I can actually see this. It's very, very, very sharp movement, isn't it? You get more... Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave that on. I am going to leave that on. Okay, so that was issue 2.5. The last issue we're going to talk about is the minimap. I have left the minimap on, and a number of people have said I should turn it off for immersion. And I can tell you the only reason I actually have left it on is harvesting bushes. For those of you that don't know, harvesting bushes is a big part of the Witcher experience. You spend a lot of time doing this, at least you did in number 1 and number 2. Not totally sure whether the same is going to be true of number 3. Now, you could argue I should find the bushes the old-fashioned way by searching them out, but I would argue that Geralt's senses are supposed to be far better than mine, and in previous games you've always had some method of spotting things like that from quite far away. So in Witcher 1 there was a button that highlighted all the bushes for quite some distance actually, so you could go and loot them. In Witcher 2 you had the Witcher medallion power, which was on a 10-second timer unless you modded it, which I did, to a 1-second timer, and you could run around, spam it, and see all the bushes you wanted to loot. In Witcher 3 you have either the minimap, as you can see, I can see that bush on my minimap, or Witcher Sense. And Witcher Sense kind of works, although it's a little flaky. You sometimes have to be very bloody close for it to work. But I don't like the effect. I think it's kind of cool when doing investigations and you're following some footprints. I think it's kind of cool. But for general, just searching around for lootables, you know, looking for bushes, looking for things you can loot in a house without spending ages just clicking on every object to see if it can be activated, Witcher Sense is just very useful. It's... Come on. It's just not particularly pleasant. I doubt whether any of you want me to run around playing like this. And there are going to be periods where I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to loot everything I see. I'll be running around like this and I'm actually feeling a little nauseous like that. I don't like it. I don't like the blur. And I don't like the dull, muted, muffled sound. I really don't. What I would really like is a mod for Witcher Senses which made the visual effect noticeable but not offensive, and remove the muffled sound effect. I mean, people say, oh, it's you focusing on one or two things to that. Witcher Senses. I'm supposed to have heightened senses. When I'm using my Witcher Senses, a troll could sneak up on me and I'd never know. Oh, you were totally focused on trying to find a bush. Yeah, that's not exactly a survival trait for a Witcher, is it? Looking for a bush, looking for a bush. Bam! So, I think it needs modding. I really do. I'm looking forward to a Witcher Sense mod once the red kit comes out. However, there is actually an alternative. There is something I could do. and that is change a setting in the ini file to remove at least the visual effect. In fact, you know what? I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so I've now got the setting that I need, which is, believe it or not, it's called Motion Blur Fix or something, and very aptly named because I did get motion sickness when moving around for even short periods. And now when I Witcher Sense, I still get the zoom, I still get a slight dimming of the light, but there's no blur. You still get the muffle, but it means I can run around. I can actually run around, and it still highlights everything. You'll notice all the things being highlighted. I actually think it highlights at a greater range. I really do. I think it highlights at a greater range. It's more like Witcher 1 now. But it's actually usable. I could do this. I wouldn't abuse it too much. I'd use it, find the harvestables, and then go. But I think that is not offensive. I don't think that causes sickness for the viewer or for me. So I'd be willing to use this. Now, it's not perfect. If I was going to mod this, and I might once the toolkit comes out, what I would probably do is change the visual slightly. I wouldn't have it dim. Instead of going dim like it does, I'd have it zoom, but I'd have it go more monochrome. So everything was black and white except the glows. I think that would really be cool. And instead of a muffled sound, I think I'd leave the sound untouched. I might mute the music. So it just completely mutes the music, which I think it does anyway, but leaves the ambient sound. Because if you listen, what it's doing is it's removing all the ambient sound, it's muffling the sound of peasants, and it's adding a rushing sound. Oh, there is some ambient sound. I can still hear the... I can't hear the wind, but I can hear the birds. I would have a different effect on the sound, so it was more subtle. Still noticeable, but more subtle. That's how I'd do it. But I don't have the tool yet. I can't do that. And I think this is actually a decent happy medium. Right now, I'm thinking this is how I should play. I should play with Witcher Sense instead of the heads-up display. It would mean I would go along to video, heads-up, minimap off. I no longer have the time of day either, which is a lot more immersive, and I have to find things with either Witcher Sense now, which is more pleasant. It is, isn't it? Or should I leave the Witcher Sense with all of its blurry madness and switch the minimap on? I think I like this. I like the lack of minimap. I'll get lost, which is always fun, but I'll be able to loot flowers, which is, you know, also always fun. Anyway, that's what this video really is about, believe it or not. The other changes are sort of, you know, I'm fairly sure I know what I want to do about them. This is one. This is the one I really want your input. What do you think? Should I use this setting and turn the minimap off? Should I leave the minimap on and stick with the blur? Leave comments down below. Oh, and yeah, no, comment on the hairworks. I really don't care. Shall I turn hairworks off for Geralt? I want it on for the horse and for all the animals, but shall I turn it off for Geralt? If you don't care, don't comment. Only comment if you care. If you like the hairworks version of the hair, like this, say, no, leave hairworks on for Geralt. If you hate it, tell me you hate it. If you don't care, don't even mention it. It's just no point. And, oh, let's end with some God rays. And that's it. So there you go. That's my ramble, my long, arduous ramble about the tweaking of the settings. Now, any changes I make will not occur until part 3. I've already done part 2, so please bear with me. That should be out soon. I say soon. I've got to render it and upload it. Day or so. Bear with me. Episode 2 will have all of the original settings. But how things go from now on is very much up to you guys. I'm definitely turning the sharpening down. Definitely turning that down. But the hairworks issue and the Witcher Sense issue, weigh in down in the comment section. Okay? Thank you for listening.